Hello and welcome to another beautiful day. It is a Friday, of course, and we just want you to know that so many things are happening in Nigeria, and this Chief Justice of Nigeria will be sworn in today. A new Chief Justice, Ariwola, is giving way for a new Chief Justice today. Kekere Ekun will be coming in as the new CJN. As a matter of fact, we want to talk a little bit about it because some concern going on right now. You remember a lot of Nigerians, there was a time I hit the street to ask people of how much trust and belief they still have in the judicial system, looking at the fact that it's been said that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, and there were a lot of reactions. There is something, a plea coming from senior lawyers this morning, and that's what we want to talk about. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and of course I have Michael Ekene right here. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
And of course, joining us via the phone is the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Garki chapter in Abuja FCT here in the presence of Barrister Anthony Ojo. Good morning, Barrister.
Good morning, Sir Ramsey. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Barrister.
All right. Barrister, this morning in one of the delis, the Daily Sun to be specific, senior lawyers urged new CJN to clean rot in judiciary. That's what we want to look at this morning. And of course, we know who you are. You are a barrister, and of course, you are the chairman of NBA Garki chapter. And a lot of Nigerians have had questions recently about the happenings in the judicial system, beginning from the 2023 election down to today. What would you have to say about this plea coming from senior lawyers?
Well, what I have coming from the senior lawyers and senior members of the profession is that there's a whole lot of work to be done to have a sweep within the judiciary. Thankfully, the judiciary already has a self-cleansing system through the National Judicial Council, which met last week. That was the last meeting that was presided over by the immediate past Chief Justice of the country, where the acting Chief Justice who was sworn in this morning was confirmed. Some other decisions were taken at that meeting, and part of the decisions were warning letters issued to some judges for some acts which were not supposed to be carried out, which were carried out by them. Some committees and panels were set up to also investigate some petitions that had been written against some judges across the levels of the judiciary in the country, while some other petitions that were also written against judges were also thrown out or for abandonment by those who wrote the petitions. So there's a whole lot of work to be done. The new acting Chief Justice who will be sworn in shortly has her work cut out for her. And considering the fact that she has been through the ladder of the judiciary, she began from magistracy up until going to the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and then landing at the Supreme Court. She knows, she's a thoroughbred judicial officer, so she knows her onions, and she knows that the work is enormous. She will need to hit the ground running and ensure that she acts within the law, the ambit of the law, based on the powers that she has as Chief Justice, to help cleanse the judiciary. And part of what she needs to also do, working with our brother justices, is also to, as much as possible, work towards clearing the backlog of cases in the Supreme Court. The case docket is very huge. I would have advised for a process of unbundling the Supreme Court, or having the Supreme Court sit like an assises where they travel across maybe the 6 geopolitical zones from time to time on a quarterly basis to clear these cases. That will also help.
That's true.
There's a whole lot of work to be done, and she needs to roll up her sleeves and get to work. And I believe she's going to do a good job.
Oh, okay,
So,
barrister. Let me ask a question. Hold your thought for a minute. Let me ask this question. What happened? Because the judiciary before now is being held at a very high esteem. But as it is right now, a lot of Nigerians have lost hope in the judiciary looking at what is happening. There is a level of decadence in the judiciary. And that's part of what the senior lawyers are actually referring to. So, what happened? What resulted to this?
well, I would not really point. I would not really agree that it's some sort of decadence. Rather, I would say that there's been too much influence from the politicians, in the judiciary, especially when one has to deal with the fact that many politicians or some politicians would always want to have their wives, their daughters, their girlfriends, or their relations as judges or members of the judiciary, and through which they want to be able to have influence over decisions that they give. They want to have influence over decisions affecting their friends. They also have influence over decisions affecting their political parties. That is a very huge problem too, which we have to deal with. While one is not saying if you're qualified to be a judge or a judicial officer, you should not be appointed because you are the wife or the sister or the mother of a politician. But on the other hand, we need to know where to cut the line, or draw the line, so to speak, to say, okay, there should be some certain relationship you should have, based on the fact that you have a particular relationship with this politician, then it should not be recommended for judicial appointment. I think we need to get to that point. That's part of the problem, especially having regard to what happened on the floor of the Senate last year when a distinguished senator stood up and said his wife, who had left office as president of the Court of Appeal, he intruded into her independence. That to me was one of the worst things that could have ever happened to us in the history of this country, in our judiciary. Another issue is the issue of conflicting court judgment. You have courts of appeal divisions giving conflicting judgments on matters which are clear. So, it's also a problem. And you keep wondering what really is happening. We have a standard of judicial precedent in the legal profession, but you see a whole lot of acts of rascality here and there. I believe so far that the NJC needs to do more to beam its searchlight into these issues. We also need to draw ourselves, draw attention to the fact that the truth is the judiciary must not give judgment or rulings based on what the society wants. Judges give judgments or rulings or decisions based on what is
barrister. Hello, barrister.
Yes.
When you say what the society wants, I don't think the judgment is ever going in the way of what the society wants. But then, if you say what the politicians want, I think that is it's more like it, because a lot of people who are not buoyant enough don't get justice these days, and that's the reason a lot of people say the judiciary is no longer the hope of the common man.
We can't really say those who are not buoyant enough, because if a politician goes to court, for example, now, if a politician goes to court and files an election petition at the election petition tribunal, of course it is against another petition or another politician. If he wins, he comes out of the court and then he grants interviews to you guys. What he will say is that he's victim for democracy. But if he loses, he will say the judiciary has been bribed. So it's just like me and you going to court. We end up in court. If I win the case against you, I'll say, wow, the court did justice. But if you win the case against me, you say, wow, the court also did justice. So
okay, in other words, barrister, are you trying to say, I'm not trying to put words into your mouth, but then, are you trying to totally disagree with the fact that some judicial officers have compromised the process in the past by taking money?
And also, barrister.
But the truth is, if you say a judicial officer has taken money to be compromised in the matter, then you have to back it up with evidence, strong evidence. You don't just go about saying somebody has collected money or a judge has been bribed.
So are you trying to say it doesn't happen in the system at all?
What I'm saying is to become a judge is a very, very serious business. So for you to prove or for you to say a judge has collected money, the judiciary cannot speak for itself. So if you have evidence that any judge has collected money, then bring it up. The judge will be investigated. After all, we've had that such in the past where some judges who had, it was claimed that they collected money and it was proved and dismissed by the Nigerian National Judicial Council.
Okay, you were dismissed.
Are not given wide, publicity by the press. There are judges that have been dismissed because they compromised. There are judges that have been dismissed because they gave judgments or they gave rulings that they were not supposed to give.
Okay. And also, Barrister...
There are judges that have gone beyond their brief. And they have been either been suspended, some have been dismissed, some have also been warned, some have been stepped down by way of withholding their elevation for a period of 3 to 5 years.
And also, Barrister Anthony, please hold your thoughts. Please hold your thoughts, sir.
License to practice for one or two infractions or the other.
All right, sir. And also, Barrister Anthony, I have a quick question for you, sir, before you go ahead. Sorry about that. According to a recent report, is a 160-page titled Corruption in Nigeria, based on a survey conducted by the National Bureau of Statistics in collaboration with the United Nations Office. Nigeria public officials received at about 721 billion naira in cash bribes in 2023, with Nigerian judges topping the list of bribe recipients. And then now, the antecedents of Ariwola, do you think this new Chief Justice in the person of Kekere Eku, that we've heard she's a no-nonsense judge, do you think with this she will have to give us a clean slate? Because right now, the populace have lost confidence on the judicial system. They don't, if you tell somebody go to court, he knows that case is as good as closed. The highest bidder wins it. What do you have to say about that, sir?
Well, I would not agree with you. As a practicing lawyer and legal practitioner who goes to court almost on the daily basis, I would not agree with you that the public has lost confidence in the judiciary. Because if you go to the courts, magistrate courts, high courts, court of appeals, Supreme Court, the still members of the public are still approaching the courts for their case. Now, to the issue of my Lord Honorable Justice KMO Kekereko, who has a history of being a no-nonsense judge, a lot is being expected from her, and I believe strongly that she knows that a lot is being expected from her and that she's going to do a very good job to help to cleanse the judiciary. Now, going to the report from the National Bureau of Statistics, I don't have a problem with that report. What I would rather advise, and what I believe should have been done before now, by now, is that report should have been filed as a petition to the National Judicial Council. Also, that the people or the judges or the judicial officers who collected these monies, they must have their names. So you file them, and that's what I'm saying. When you have evidence, once there is evidence of an infraction somewhere, something will be done about it. Mind you, I must also tell you that the judiciary as an institution is not embodied only by the judges who adjudicate upon cases. It's also embodied by the registrars, the court clerks, the staff of the judges, their orderlies, their legal assistants, and research assistants, and all whatnot. You should also know that some of this, if not all, most of all these people are involved in this corruption business. Somebody will claim that I am collecting money on behalf of the judge, and it will surprise you that at the end of the day, the judge never knew anything about it. We have had cases of such. We've even had cases of even some legal practitioners who go to their clients and say, don't worry, just bring 5 million, we'll give to the judge, and we'll get justice in this matter.
This
and
is
at the end of
serious.
the day, when you investigate the matter, you find out that the judge is not even aware that such money will exchange hands. But the client believes that he or she has given money to the judge, and the judge has collected bribe to do justice or injustice for him,
All right.
for him in this matter.
Barrister Anthony.
My point. So the embodiment of the institution of saying the judiciary is not just made up of the judges alone or the justices. They have their support staff who are also involved in this matter based on evidence that I know as a legal practitioner, that they are also involved in this matter. That most of the time when you see judicial corruption, it will surprise you that when you investigate deeply, you will find out that the judge himself, who is mentioned, He's not even aware of some of these monies that are exchanged hands.
All right.
So you have
But
to
then,
class,
okay, finally, before
assistant.
Barrister, our time is up already. From what you just said, it means even if sometimes the judge may not be aware of the fact that maybe a support staff has collected money.
Yes.
In other words, it means the justices don't know their staffs very well, and the blame still goes to them, because you should know who you are working with.
Not necessarily knowing your staff very well. The judges don't live with their staff. The judge does his job and believes that his staff should do his job. So the judge is not supposed to go about finding out which of his staff or which of her staff has collected money in a case. That's not their job. Their job is to adjudicate on cases.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister.
Thank you very much.
It is good to have you. We would love to have you live in the studio some other time.
Very well.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
All right.
Thank you very much, Barrister.
Very much.
Have a nice day.
And you too.
All right, that was the voice of Barrister Anthony Ojo, the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association. Of course, a new CJN would be sworn in today, and the senior lawyers have said, well, on coming in, the first thing you should do is to see how you can clean up the system, because a lot of rots are just right there. And we just spoke with a barrister who actually confirmed that the CJN have a lot to do. Time is up already. As a matter of fact, I don't know, but then would have loved to take more time. But we just have to walk within the confine of the time that we have. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and it's been Michael Ekene. Thank you very much for coming on your way again, and that's going to be on Monday. Bye-bye for now.